Hello and welcome to Blackfeather Guild. We are back with Empires and Epitaphs. This is our technically third episode. Last episode we had a whole lot of internet issues and weren't able to get very far into it, so it's sort of episode 2.5, I guess. But for continuity's sake with the videos, we're calling it episode 3. And I'm looking really forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun figuring out what we do with this ghost town and how we make it lively with our collection of living and undead characters. Before we jump into everything, though, I want to take a quick moment to remind everybody how you can interact from the audience. So there's a number of different ways that you can do so. One of the easiest ways to do so is with the game tweet, which is right there in chat. For every 10 interactions on that, that's likes, retweets, and comments, a D4 will go to the cast and the DM. And those can be used on any rolls at all. To help boost the numbers a little bit. So if we're like, say, 2 away from a DC, throwing a D4 in there can make a big difference. Currently, we are at... I just saw we had another notification. We're currently at 9 interactions, so we're already almost to our first D4. So definitely check out that tweet, like, retweet, comment, anything like that you want to do. Other ways that you can interact are through guild coins. Those are our Twitch channel points. You can see how many of those you have by looking at the little rainbow colored icon right below your Twitch chat box. You get those just by watching the stream, but if you are a subscriber, you earn those at twice the rate. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with those. If you click on that little icon, it'll tell you the full list. But one of the neatest things that you can do is plot points. There's a brief summary right here about what those do. But basically, they allow you to interject things into the scene. So you can add to, remove from, or change things about the scene that's happening. And depending on how many plot points you use, that determines how big that change is. There's a full description in the panels down below, or you can click on each individual plot point option in the guild coin menu, and it'll tell you a full description there as well. With those, the DM does have final say on what gets added in, though. So just do keep that in mind. If it's something super game-breaking or it really throws the story off way too much, the DM might edit it down a little bit to fit a bit better. But we will try to stick as close as possible to what you suggest. So that's guild coins. And then finally, if you want to help support the channel, help keep the lights on and all that, there's a lot of ways that you can do that as well. Direct donations are through coffee.com/raven or raven.rocks. You can find those addresses on this chart right here, down at the bottom. You can also do bits and subscriptions. Those count as well. And then finally, we do have options for patrons on Patreon. I'm going to pop that into chat for you. Bar tier and up get credits towards viewer actions every month. And you can redeem those at pretty much any point. In addition to the other cool stuff you get for that, like art, and when I write short stories and things like that, those go there as well. Tabletop updates and tips, all kinds of stuff. And as a matter of fact, speaking of tabletop things, one important thing to note about our Patreon this month, I am currently working through edits on Fundamental RPG Second Edition, just about through the first round of edits to a point where we can have it as a playtest version. So I'm putting out a lot of previews of different sections of that book right now, but I'm hoping in about a week or less we'll have a full playable version on Patreon for Bard tier and higher patrons. So if you're interested in that, this is the second edition of Fundamental RPG. It's a system that we used for Lightbringer, Badlands. It's what we're using for Water and Animus Absentus right now on the channel. So it's really cool stuff. And yeah, if you want to check that out, Patreon, Bard tier and up, we'll get access to that before it's released. And then finally, there's a lot of other options that you get for different donations. You can see those all right here. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them that may not be. The switch allows you to, or allows a player or a DM to change the action of another person. So, for example, if you have a bard in your party that's getting ready to seduce the dragon, the DM or the other player can say switch, and the bard has to do something else. Also, advantage and rerolls. You get to roll twice and take the better of the two options, the two results. The only difference is with a reroll, you can do it at any time, whereas an advantage, you have to call it before the roll is made. Complication is kind of like having 8 plot points. You can do literally anything that you want. 1 to 3 sentences, you just type it out into chat, and we will do our best to get it in there. And then with that, again, the DM does have final say on what gets added, so we may edit it a little bit, but especially with complications, we try to stick as close as possible to what you suggest. Swap 2 players for 5 minutes means that we will swap characters, and that includes the DM, so you could put a player in the DM spot and the DM playing their character. It's a lot of fun to see people try to imitate each other's characters. And then 1 up is if a character would die or go unconscious, they can use that to not do that and instead come back at 1 hit point. So if there's a character you really want to make sure survives the campaign, that's a great way to help make sure that that happens. It's not exactly a immortal card, but it does give a fighting chance to get out of some sticky situations. And that's all of the viewer actions. With that, we're gonna head over and say hello to the cast. There we go. Hey everybody, and Zan, I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome.
So I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. Fantastic. Excellent. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We are so happy to be back after that week of after our off week last week to support Black Lives Matter. And after our little technical difficulty episode the week before. But before we begin this week, I think for my and everyone else's benefit as well, we're going to stop back through and let each of our players introduce themselves, their character, and where we can find them. So, Raven, I know you've been chatting for a hot minute, but why don't you keep it going? Who are you?
Sure.
Who is your character?
So I'm Raven. This is my channel. I do pretty much everything involved with tabletop, from designing games like Fundamental RPG I just mentioned, to professional game master, voice acting, all of it, and art. I did all the art for the show too. And then I'm playing Bark, who is the simplest way to describe Bark is if you had Ferengi in D&D. She's a gnome and she's a businesswoman, and she is currently a mastermind rogue. So we'll see what wheeling and dealing she can do today.
Awesome. Devon, why don't you go next? Who are you, who you playing, and where can we find you?
Hello, I'm Devon. I'm playing Epitaphs, a fire genasi barbarian who's been away from town for some time. You can find me here on Twitch at GWDevon, and you used to be able to find me on Twitter at GWDevon_, but now that's Devon. Now that's at Devon DnD, so you can find me there.
Awesome. Face, how about you next?
Yeah, I'm Face. I'm playing Miev, who is a half-orc rogue with a super bad memory. And you can find me on Twitter at GameFace.
Awesome. Village system.
Hi, I'm Susie. You can usually find me in this game only unless it's a Friday game, in which case it might be any of us, but this game is mine.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm playing Elva, who is a cleric, death cleric, who is in charge of health and safety, I think.
Excellent. And for our viewers who might be unaware, Elva, Lady Di, and Locrian are our undead cast members.
Oh,
Speaking
yes.
of Lady Di, why don't you go next?
Undead skeleton, who is a cleric, who is death cleric.
Yeah.
Calliope. I'm playing Lady Di. She's the head of the Tourism Bureau and the Better Business Bureau, and she's a revenant, and she has fabulous fashion sense, and is so delighted to be here on Tombstone Tuesday.
That's right. That'll be our main holiday today. And Kat, why don't you keep it going?
Hey, I'm a cat named Schrodinger. You can find me at Cat and Schrodinger or Cat named Schrodinger in most places. I'm playing an undead ghost of a tiefling bard who can't speak, who also has a cool talking sword that we totally forgot about up until just now.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this is fun. This is a fun challenge.
Excellent. And I'm Zan. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. You can catch me on Twitter at InsanityTTRPG or at my website, insanitygaming.com. And yeah, I think without further ado, we should hop into tonight's game and see what our characters have been up to. It's been about 6 weeks since they liberated the town of... What was our name this week?
Forever Home.
Forever Home. Since they
Yes, I
liberated
just painted it on the sign.
the freshly painted sign reading Forever Home has been liberated for about 6 weeks from the control of the Bone Lord, a kind of pseudo-lich who was the prior management of this town for some few hundred years. So, with the time that's passed, we should check in to see what each of our characters have been up to. And in no particular order, Miev, what have you been up to in the last 6 weeks?
In the last 6 weeks, Miev has definitely been working on the docks and getting set up there. They've also set up a safe house for their old smuggling crew because they're still pretty connected there.
Excellent. Now the question is it going to be smuggling, or is this going to be a legitimate business operation in Forever Home?
Who's to say? I guess we'll find out.
And Elva, what have you been doing in the last 6 weeks?
Mostly been collecting pets and reviving them, so I can.
Been busy at work in the pet cemetery, I take it?
Yes.
Excellent. The town's bird population is absolutely thriving, with numerous pigeons in various states of decomposition and a few slightly necrotized raccoons. Maybe a little bit more of a sore sight for the town's living members, but definitely still welcome. Bark, what have you been up to?
Bark has been busy running her little feet off, trying to get the tavern all set up. So, remodeling, contracting, Making sure that she gets the best deals on those contracts, things like that. And she's also managed to build with, even though I didn't go with Artificer, I do have, I remembered, what is it? Tinkerer, from being a rock gnome. So she's managed to make a like Zippo lighter. So she's running around like giving people lights for their pipes, and a music box. So there's music playing in the tavern, and an actual clock so people know what time it is. So she was busy making those things and getting everything set up. And currently she's trying to secure an artificer or wizard, somebody who can make endless flasks for her spirits, if you'll pardon the pun. And preferably somebody that maybe used to work for the Bone Lord, maybe is just not the most reputable type person, that she can get a really good deal from.
Excellent. Yeah, I think let's look into that scene just a little bit. I think you found someone, and it's a skeletal kobold. And they're sitting in a bar, and tinkering with a few vials of strange glowing chemicals with plumes of smoke wafting off that almost appear to form skull and crossbones as they rise into the air. What's this kobold's name?
Frederick.
Frederick. So Frederick looks to you and goes,
yeah, I mean, I can do it. It's not a problem. Was there any kind of spirit in particular that you were wanting out of here?
So Bart comes walking up with her a fancy new pink hat, much like, wrong side, this one. Very lovely gift from Lady Di. And so she walks up and she's like, yeah, I need a lot of different ones. So let's see, there's vodka, and gin, and whiskey. I'll get you a whole list. And I've got a fantastic deal for you. We're going to write up a contract, you're going to have stock options, and you're going to have all the free drinks you want at the tavern.
That sounds really nice.
as they attempt to rest their skeletal head on their jaw, and their hand just goes through their bottom jaw and rests on their palate.
That's very kind of you. Most of the booze is gonna take a little while. Tell you what, I can make pretty quick though. I can make you some rum moss or moss rum if you're one of those educated types and you like to say it weird. But I can make some of that for you first, and then we can talk about expanding the line.
Sure. I mean, how does it taste?
Have you ever chewed on moss?
Not intentionally, no.
Well, it'll make you forget that you have, so it's not a bad option. What do you say we call it Frederick's Firewater? This is kind of my family's recipe.
We'll feature that during happy hour.
Okay. It's not. I mean, it's not a huge sticking point, but in a town of undead, there is a chance that my great grandmother will find out that I'm using her recipe, and might literally roll in her grave.
Okay, well, will that affect the flavor?
No, but it might affect the clientele when she rolls out of her grave.
Oh, right, rolling out of the grave. Yeah, that could be a problem. We'll include that in the contract.
Okay.
Don't you worry. We'll take care of it.
Okay, that's cool.
And we'll we'll leave that scene there. Mizar, what have you been up to?
Mizar is just getting back into town. He's been away for the past 6 weeks. Before he left, he had a little conversation with Bart about being more of an enforcer for the people that try to break their contracts, and
Okay.
as well as for the people who might be causing trouble in town.
Okay.
Running a bit of town security, so to speak. So he's just getting back into town. He's wearing, Lady Di made him this nice dark blue outfit. It had like black breeches, and it was like a dark blue top and a like flowing dark blue cloak. So he's walking back into town currently wearing that. And wherever he steps, there's normally been fire, just like the faintest little flame, because fire genasi. Because he doesn't like to wear he doesn't always wear shoes.
Mhm.
But recently it's been more of a little spark than a flame.
I see. And just, my morbid curiosity, what's Mizar's hair or facial hair situation?
Hair's gotten a bit longer. Like, he keeps his face generally shaven, but like before he left, his hair was kind of like low, so like tied in like rolls. But when he left, he kind of like let it down, so it's almost past his ears, and it's just very long. But he has it tied back in like a high ponytail.
I think most of the ponytail is lying flat, but especially when he takes his hood off, there's a few errant strands of hair that just stick straight up, as though you've been rubbing a balloon against your skull for a few seconds.
Yeah, and there's a little streak, and the little streak of his hair, which is normally like a dark orange, is just this intense white.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I think that's fantastic. Lady Di, what have you been up to in the last 6 weeks?
What haven't I been up to? It's been there's so much going on. We've had four meetings of the Better Business Bureau, and I just do not know about the signage at the bar across the street, and they've got a clock, which is rather gauche for those of us who have already been here for 234 years. But it's Tombstone Tuesday, and there's so much to be done. It's so exciting. We haven't had a special event here for so many years.
That's
Really
right.
excited. And Lady Di is sort of marching around in a very large skirt and a very festive hat, and with Locrian, and sort of pointing out different places where there could be cray paper. And she's a very large pair of novelty shears. She sort of cut different ribbons later, and it's very exciting. And she's just delighted with all of the life, living an undead life that there is here in town now.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's been a good probably 2 score of living inhabitants now dwelling in Forever Home. Whether or not they will make it their Forever Home remains to be seen. I think we'll come back to you in just a second to get to talk about how you've decorated the town for Tombstone Tuesday, the most important holiday of the year, the newly named Forever Home, in just a second. Locrian, what have you been doing?
So Locrian's been buzzing around. Mostly he's been helping Lady Di decorate. He did take the time to go to the clock, to Bark's clock, and replace all the numbers with ale, the word ale. And then realizing that maybe that's a little gauche, started flipping it around, and like now 12 o'clock is moss rum. And there's vodka o'clock, and rum o'clock, and mead o'clock. But 6 o'clock is ale o'clock, always ale o'clock.
Excellent. And I think now that our town does have 2 really nice clocks in it, I think it's worth pointing out that while the minute, second, and hour hands are working perfectly, the dates on all of them seem to be stuck on Tuesday.
It's
those of you-
Locrian's fault.
It's always Tuesday here on the Black Feather Guild.
That's right.
And thank you for that follow there, Adam LeGrave. We greatly appreciate it. And this Tuesday in particular is a most auspicious day, Tombstone Tuesday. And Lady Di, how have you been decorating in preparation for the first Tombstone Tuesday in hundreds of years with living occupants? How are you deciding to represent the town on this all-important holiday?
Well, there has to be a lot of flowers and a lot of feathers and a lot of sort of things that are precious and yet fragile, like life itself. And these new inhabitants, they're so short-lived and fragile. And just the other day, so one of them was walking down the street and something hit them on the head and they almost died. I mean, this is not a thing that has happened here in many years, and we had to call on Elva and just help us. And so everything's very beautiful. It's all very like pastels, lots of feathers from the undead pigeons, lots of crepe paper, lots of little tombstones, but like cookies that are made to look like tombstones. It's all on brand.
Mm-hmm.
And they all say forever home on them, the little cookies. Just in case you forgot where you lived.
Excellent. So I think that's going to bring us to the current day, the current situation, Tombstone Tuesday. It's going to be about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon when our story picks up today. And what's everybody doing to pass the time? I imagine most, if not all of you, are going to be at Barks. I think that's where the Better Business Bureau has decided to meet to have their pre-party for the Tombstone Tuesday cookout, right, Lady Di?
Yes. Well, as our newest member and the place that has the most chairs, this is the place we've got to go.
And of course, the Better Business Bureau, staff always get a special discount.
It's so thoughtful of you to provide, rubbing alcohol for those of us who just kind of smell it and don't drink it anymore. So nice.
Locrian, did you bring your companion with you?
Oh, I did. He's always with me.
Okay.
He's usually kind of like got a piece of tape stuck to his mouth. And it's kind of, he's just strapped to my back. I'm probably carrying some of the paperwork from the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
Because I forgot to mention this earlier, I'm headed the Zoning Board of Adjustments now, which is delightful.
Delightful.
It is delightful because it's, part of being part of the Zoning Board of Adjustments is being a giant troll. So that's he's kind of just taking them and tossing them places. He's got his friend. He's maybe trying to start a poker game.
I've got an idea for you that I'm sure that someone else would have suggested if you really wanted to get under the blade of the Bone Lord. What was the name of that sword? I have completely spaced on it.
What was it?
Chat, if somebody remembers, y'all put that into chat because
I must have had to, I had to have put it in my notes somewhere.
I think that that maybe you've tied an ink pen to the end of its pommel, and that has become your writing utensil of choice.
Absolutely.
Much to the muffled chagrin of the sentient inhabitant of this blade. Okay.
I would also like to suggest that Lady Di has accessorized the blade for this occasion with a bunch of pink feathers. So it's very sort of pink and skulls together.
Excellent. Bark, what's the
Take it
pet
back.
policy at Bark's Tavern?
Well, I mean, there's a 1 drink minimum for entry, so that's sort of a cover charge. So as long as they buy a drink, they're welcome.
All right.
Doesn't matter who or what they are.
Elva, have you brought any of your companions with you today into the bar?
No, I'm out celebrating in my own way by burning incense to my god, and in general, just keeping the populace that are not undead alive.
Excellent. So how about we say that you're down by the coast, helping to anoint the what in a past time could have been human sacrifices, but is now just going to be a large barbecue meant for the populace to come together and enjoy. How does that sound?
Yes.
Excellent.
I
So you're over there overseeing the spiritual aspects.
yes, making sure everything falls in line and is appropriate.
Fantastic. Miev, are any of your smuggling companions in the bar today?
I don't think so. I think they're still getting settled. But I'm sitting at the bar, having a drink, kind of off to the side a little bit, but waiting for everyone else to gather.
All right, and I think our last person in the bar today is going to be Mizar. Make your entrance into the bar, Mizar.
So Mizar walks into the bar, and immediately, like as he walks in, there's this kind of tingling that everybody who can feels. It's basically like when you plug, it's that static where you like plug something into an outlet and you just feel like that spark jump. You feel that, but it's like it's concentrated around his person, but then it expands about 10 feet from him, where everybody just feels this slight tingling static. And he walks up behind Bark and just taps them on the shoulder.
Bark does a little jump, turns around and goes, "Oh, hey there, Sparky. What can I get for you?"
What do you recommend?
Let's see. The moss rum has a real nice profit margin. I mean, flavor to it. I could be happy to make you a double
Sure,
or a triple.
double's fine. And he kind of puts his hands in his pockets because he could feel this little spark when he like went to tap Bark on the shoulder.
Nice. Bark runs behind the counter, and I think the counter's probably designed in such a way, or the bar, so like the customer side looks normal, like it's normal height and everything with the bar stools and the little rail at the bottom to put your feet on, and then the back it's like almost like stadium seating, so that Bark can actually be seen above the bar. So she runs back and grabs a couple of bottles and kind of has like 2 bottles in between her fingers in one hand and just starts pouring into this glass. And it smells like gasoline. But she slides it across and gives you the total. Whatever the normal total would be for a drink like that.
We're not going to worry too much about petty sums in this campaign.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Mizar pulls these gloves out of his pocket, and they're literally they're not like rubber gloves, but they're just like cloth gloves that are fingerless that he puts on, and then he grabs the glass with it and like kind of holds it up to you and just swigs it. And you'll notice that where his fingertips were, the glass is a little bit melted. like more than usual melted.
Oh,
Because normally
jeez.
he's really good at controlling. He's good at controlling the fire thing, not so much the electricity thing right now.
Okay.
I think the fumes from this are definitely flammable, and
Oh, definitely.
as Frederick, you probably notice a skeletal kobold wearing a tiny blue hat, who consciously likes to contradict Lady Di sometimes. Is sitting at the corner of the bar and kind of tips his skull in acknowledgement as a small plume of fire comes out of your mouth, and he kind of raspily chuckles to himself.
That's some good stuff. God, has
So-
it been a month and a half already since I've been here?
Yep. I'm pretty sure. And don't worry about the glass. I'll just put that on your tab. Yeah, it's been about a month and a half.
Sheesh. I'm back now, and that's what matters. I can start doing, what would you say, my contracted job is what you called it?
Players trying to remember this conversation.
Sorry, y'all. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this. So Bark, of course, acts like she 100% remembers this, and goes, "Oh yeah, the entertainment job, the fire juggling and whatnot."
Yeah, as well as whatever else you need done around. Really not trying to catch anything on fire again, just pointing that out.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry. The first couple of weeks of your wages go towards the security deposit, so you don't even have to worry about if you do set something on fire. Just don't do anything in the first 2 weeks.
Right. And I can also go around and do the punching thing if people, and he kind of just shrugs. He says, and shrugs. Like, you get it.
It's like, yeah, I appreciate that.
As you say, and shrug, you notice a goblin kind of not so stealthily giving you the side eye. You hear a familiar voice go, "Yeah, gonna give you the punch." yeah, he's a cheater. Yeah, punch.
Don't say anything to this goblin, but there's a very, as Mizar hears the voice, there is a very noticeable electric jolt from Mizar to directly in front of this goblin.
No shit. I'm gotta quit smoking.
And he just glares back at them.
They quickly avert their eyes, having already tasted your fist a few months ago. Not feeling up to the challenge again. So I think everyone save for Elva is in the bar, and
Can Lady Di swoop over to say hi to Mizar?
of course, please do.
So I think as the lightning goes to the goblin, it's right in front of her, and she looks at it and she's gives him a little pat on the cheek, and she comes over and she says, "Mizar, oh, you ravishing rosebud, you look amazing, and your clothes have held up so well. Let me look at you. I feel like you've only been gone 6 weeks, and yet you've gone white-haired already. You living creatures, you've aged so fast. You're growing up so lovely. I'm just so shocked to see you here."
He points at the white streak in his hair and he's like, "Yeah, the electricity does this to you." And he kind of shudders for a second and is like, and he mutters, "Lightning hurts." It's just it's just all he mutters is that lightning hurts.
And she puts her little undead hands on his face, and I think it kind of smells bad because he's burning her flesh a little bit with electricity, but she doesn't care. She can just get new hands. She's like, "I've missed you so much. Oh, you're just so adorable."
The moment you touch him, Lady Di wears a wig, right?
What?
Does Lady Di wear a wig or still have some hair left?
Yeah, well, so
Wait.
she has very large red wig and like a hat.
The moment you touch him, all of the wig kind of statics out and starts standing on him.
And then I think she's gonna take her hands off. And then what happens?
And then the hair just drops. It drops to how it was.
Oh, she's for sure gonna do that like 5 more times.
Just sighs.
It's so fun. You've come just at the right time. It's Tombstone Tuesday. Is that why you came?
Well, kind of sort of
I knew
live
it
here
was
now.
why you came. Oh,
Yeah,
you
let's just say
wonderful.
yeah.
And I'm so glad I put wooden buttons and not metal ones on there. Lady Di always knows.
Let's just say it's a good thing that you made this outfit a lot more cloth than how I wanted it before. I don't think shiny and metallic would have gone well.
Oh, honey, when you're at the advanced age I am, you know all things.
And just for people in chat, so for a little bit of where has Mizar been? Mizar's been training by the coast, and while he was training and kind of like roughing it for the past month and a half, near his camp got struck by lightning, and he's kind of been conducting it a bit recently. So if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's kind of like how lightning is a more advanced form of fire. So instead of kind of being like, shit, lightning, he's like, more advanced form of fire, and just been embracing it because he's a Storm Herald barbarian. So they have that as a thing, as an option. So that is why he is all sparky.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Excellent. Mav, are you just are you comfortable observing in the corner?
Yeah.
Or are you making Miev, are you comfortable making any stuff, any preparations for today's festivities?
I think Miev has probably already done something before coming to the bar, a little quiet like ceremony by themselves by the water, but they're still hanging out farther away from Mizar, but is maybe like scooting down a few seats on the bar to be a little bit closer to the group.
Okay, excellent. And Locrian, how does this static electricity work with your ghostly goodness?
You're muted.
You're muted, Cat.
Cat, you're muted.
I dare to say,
I
Cat
was
got
muted.
your tongue.
So back up. So every time Lady Di, touches Mizar's face and her hair pops out, like sculpting her hair into different like sculptures, like different animals, and maybe there's a dick once. And it's just like how fast can I sculpt the most elaborate thing at right now? I don't know that the electricity would affect him directly.
Mm-hmm.
Although it might kind of like guide itself to the sword on my back. Like there's lightning just shooting through me to kind of like attach and react to the sword.
Hey, thank you so much for that follow. We super appreciate it. Bertrand Olds. I'm gonna hope I got that name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Yeah, what's the? I think there's a little bit of Tesla coil action going on between the handle and the crossguard of that sword. What's the sculpture that you managed to make in Lady Di's hair? What's the one that you're the most proud of?
Is it the dick?
No. Nah, I mean, like, you've seen one dick, you've seen them all, but,
Right, I think, like, he knows Lady Di would put up with that.
Right. But it happens so fast that once is okay. I think he's really, like, maybe there's this lamb, and it's being, like, held in the teeth of a lion, and, it's it looks frightened and also excited about the new state it's about to turn into, and it's probably something really Dolly-esque, where it's a little like it just kind of morphs without being without like any clear distinguishment between like one form and the next, and it happened really fast, so it's kind of hard to describe.
I'm gonna need you to make a performance check real quick. We're gonna see how impressionist this is.
Could I assist?
Yeah, you certainly are. You using some of those chains that you've hooked up to Mizar to guide guide the hair in some way, or is there a different way that you would like to assist?
Actually, yeah, that sounds amazing. So using the changes like you would put a magnet over, metal filings, pulling them up. And then I had some fancy new thing with Mastermind with that. I just used this as a bonus action instead of a regular action, that's all. That's not a thing, but yeah, I'll help.
Yeah, we'll say that'll give you advantage on that roll then. So that's a 25. That's Michelangelo tier right there. It's I think even Mizar's jaw drops just a little bit seeing this spectacle of follicle goodness that is Lady Di's. I don't even have the right terms for what once was her hair. Now this sculpture.
Locrian, how is my hair? Does it look good? Are you lying? I'd be very sheepish if my hair didn't look good.
No, he just there's a small tear that rolls down his face in just admiration of your hair and his own work. There's a little bit of egotism in there, but also he's trying to harness that and turn it into admiration for you, or at least make it seem like that.
As the spectral tear falls and on the ground, it's less of the sound of a ghost crying and more the sound of a chef's kiss on a perfectly done piece of art. Yeah, is there anything else that anyone in the bar would like to do before you head out to the beachside barbecue today?
You would notice that Mizar is trying to force him, you can see it on his face that he is trying to force himself to relax, because he's a very tense person just by nature. Less tense, more cautious, and he is trying to force himself to relax because he knows he's around friends, because when he's tense, that's when the static, the electrical aura is more pushed out towards its max radius, but the more he calms down, the more it shrinks. So he's trying to relax so that it's not so that he's not wigging out everybody in the bar that's within 10 feet of him.
I think the double of rum moss is doing that.
Yeah.
Probably helping you calm down just a little bit, loosen those shoulders a tad bit.
Yeah. He's not trying to zap everybody he walks past.
Yeah, well, the hour of the hour is growing a little long in the tooth. Is there anything that anyone wants to do before the bar is unfortunately asked to close for the seaside barbecue today?
Is it possible that Bark would have a cart, like a food truck cart?
I think that could work. We could do a food truck cart. Yeah. Is this a gnomish sized food truck cart?
Probably. Maybe dwarf size. It's a little bit big for her.
Okay.
But yeah, I think she's probably prepping that and pushing it down to the event.
Okay.
She's always working.
Is there anything that anyone else wants to do before we close this scene out and go check out on Elva? No? Going once? Going twice? Sold. All right. So, Elva, you've spent most of your day at the beach, preparing the various potlucks that are, I suppose, in the situation, cauldron looks might be a better description of the dish. Since you have dead trying to cook for the dead, and the living possibly trying to cook for the dead, plates of eyeballs and spider webs and lizard tail linguine and various other possible delicacies. Really depends on your taste. Are dotting along this long table, in addition to your basic summer fare, your potato salad, your elbow macaroni and cheese made with real elbows. Um, yeah, what are you doing out on the beach today? How are you prepping to make sure this goes off without a hitch?
I'm going around to each individual cauldron and blessing the food
Mm-hmm.
and checking and labeling it human or living and non-living and uh or both, and just in general facilitating a wonderful evening for everybody.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a you notice a few, maybe 15 or so humans or humanoids, all living, standing around, kind of mulling about. Um, they seem unsure of the quality of their dishes, and one of them walks over to you and says, hey, um, Miss Elwa, was it?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, not Miss. Sorry. Undead. Y'all. I'm gonna, I'm gonna stop talking. Yeah. Is there anything else that we need to do to help prep? Um, this is kind of y'all's holiday. We really appreciate you letting us take part in it.
I think you have done all you can. Um, let me. Would you like me to do anything to make this better for you?
Um, you got any ketchup? I feel like ketchup might help brave some of the boundaries and might make people a little more adventurous in what they're willing to try.
Yes, I think I can acquire ketchup and calls over to Bark.
And yeah, it's at about this time that that Bark and the rest of the group make their way to the beach.
What do you need? Ketchup?
Yes, that would make this much better for the
Hmm.
non-dead people.
I don't have any ketchup. I have some Bloody Mary mix. You could like boil that down. It's basically ketchup.
Ball's blessing upon you.
Oh, thanks. Yep. Here you go. Bart just hands over a mason jar of Bloody Mary mix.
All right. Uh, and the dragonborn that you were talking to goes, okay, that's cool. You know, most of us, we can pretty well stomach anything if it's got ketchup on it. Not that we would have to stomach your food. It's just you know, we're um yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. Thanks again for organizing all this. We really appreciate it.
I would like to direct you to the labels on the cauldrons. If you would, if you have any questions about if it's safe for you or not, there's
oh
labels
oh
to
that's
the cauldrons.
hey, that's really kind. Thanks for that. That's Yeah, appreciate that. Hey, and kind of looks a little sheepish. He's like, hey, so you know, there's a band performing later tonight. Jim, you hear about that?
Um, yes.
You wanna like maybe like dance or something later tonight? Like maybe if you're cool with if you're cool with it, or um
Um,
not busy or whatever.
uh, y- y-
I mean,
yeah.
I like your hair. I think your hair is really cool, and I appreciate the effort. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, yes.
and they're just gonna put their head down and walk away.
Could Bark interject something before they walk
Yeah,
away?
of course. Yeah, please.
So Bark, seeing the awkward situation, and having the dual motivation of let me help out my friend and also maybe make some money, jumps in. Goes, oh hey, you talking about a date? I know the perfect place for a date. Once you're done here with the beach and all that stuff, we're gonna have an after party at the tavern. It's a perfect place for a date.
Lady Di's gonna come in and be like, "Oh my gosh, we have people dating between dead and undead. This is so adorable. Oh, we've done such a good job. Oh my goodness, I love this couple." Just to make it
Oh.
really awkward.
Oh, you know, in retrospect, I should have asked about necrophilia on the lines and veils.
Um,
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh goodness. Um. Yeah. Well, welcome to the game, chat. um. Yeah. So I think the rest of the afternoon. Oh, claptrap. Oh goodness.
Just in case.
In case, no, that's totally cool. Uh, yeah. Is there anything that anyone else wants to do to prep for the festivities tonight?
I think that's it. Bark's just a workaholic working.
All right, but yeah,
And
Bark
Lady
makes
Di just really
solid
wants a
change.
chance to say a speech and cut some things with large scissors.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to
So that she's preparing that.
that's you've already secured your place rather aggressively for the ribbon cutting ceremony at the barbecue that will be done kind of around dusk tonight. The normally it was again normally it was a human sacrifice, but this year you guys decided that it's just better to kind of have a cookout and
Rather
less
gauche.
of yeah, right, a little bit more family friendly affair. And you've insisted that this cookout have a ribbon before the food is served, possibly two, one before the food is lit, one before the food is served. Um,
I think there's
Yeah.
probably ribbons on most everything, just so
Oh,
she
yeah.
can be really ready.
oh yeah, no, like some of the meat is like a king's roast of ribs, like a rack of lamb ribs, and there's definitely some ornate hopefully flame proof ribbon work on there.
Yeah, maybe like some scallops wrapped in bacon with little ribbons of
Oh,
bacon.
that sounds
Just in case.
perfect.
You know, it's on brand. We're doing ribbons this year.
Yeah, it's the year of the rib. And
It's always the year of the rib for Lady Di. That's basically all there is at this point.
yeah, so I think that yeah, we can jump a little bit ahead, past a couple of hours. Everybody getting comfortable, getting a little bit socially lubricated, thanks to Bark, and I think we can skip on to Lady Di's cutting of the ribbon before the barbecue pit is lit. This is a massive barbecue pit, probably 20 feet across. with all kinds of delicious morsels and vegetarian fare as well. Yeah, Lady Di, the stage is yours. Yeah. What's up, Elva?
I said 90% living safe.
Yep, just a few odds and ends.
So this is the moment Lady Di's been waiting for like 200 years, because this was like probably based on the speech she was supposed to give at the original festival that got ruined, which is part of why she hates the Bone Lord so much. And she gets up and she says, "Friends, boys, ghouls, neighbors, skeletons, 10 out of 10, dulcet darlings, we are so excited that you're here at our celebration of life, Tombstone Tuesday, and I'm just ready to cut some ribbons with some novelty shears, cutting the cord on our past. Now we're here in Forever Home, our blessed reward. And, we don't need questionable men with questionable morals to run our city or our universe. We're just going to be here with our friends. And if you see anyone like that, you're just going to punch him right in the face or cut their heads off with some shears. I know I am. The blood will flow. Let's eat."
And with that, you snip the sneers. Oh, snip the sears. Shear. Oh, that's a great tongue twister. Snip the shears. Whew, try to say that 5 times fast. You snip the shears, and the ribbon falls into 2 pieces. And through the use of some skilled thaumaturgy and pyrotechnics, the entirety of the barbecue pit is lit. And soon the scent of roasting meat and vegetables and a few skeletal delights begins to fill each of your nose. If you have a nose.
Mizar is eating, but he's also very shirked, like, away from everybody else. Just like not a lot, but just putting enough distance that he's like consciously like, right, is there anyone within like a 4-foot radius that'll get their food turned extra crispy? Yes, no, okay.
Yep.
He's still having a little bit of trouble controlling the electricity.
Mm-hmm. And as the meat cooks longer, a little bit longer, the Dragonborn comes back up to bark and goes, "Hey, it was really cool of you to donate all this meat to the thing. Wait, you're the one who donated this meat, right?"
Define donate.
We got a note saying that it came from you and it was free for the residents of the town to enjoy. Was that not you?
Did Bark actually give any?
Bark did not.
Okay, just checking. That wasn't me exactly. Can I see the note?
Oh, yeah, here you go. And it's a really poorly written note, definitely not in your handwriting, that says, "Here is meat for feast. It will be good. Everyone should come."
Okay.
Mizar
Bark,
laughs at the thought of Bark donating anything.
Yeah.
I feel like Mizar's close enough to Bark to hear this and just chuckles when this Dragonborn says donate, because he knows enough. But upon hearing donate, drops his food.
Bark's just like, well, sometimes it's okay to donate if it's tax deductible. You gotta work it, but this isn't one of those times. Can I roll insight to see if I can tell maybe who wrote it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
18.
18. You see what looks to be a line of, is that chalk on the paper? Some kind of calcium, and you get a sinking pin in your stomach as a skeletal seagull lands in front of the roaring barbecue pit and annoyingly before a familiar voice echoes forth from its lack of a windpipe and goes, "Hey, losers! Hope you're all enjoying the feast that I provided. Don't worry, it's gonna be one for you to remember. Don't worry, I don't hold grudges. Not like I have a bone to pick or anything." And as
Everybody in a 10-foot radius gets a minor electrical shock as Bark just gets angry, or as Mizar just gets angry.
Sorry.
He's just like,
Lady
he
Di
just
screams out
sighs.
from the crowd, "I did not find that humorous!"
And with that, the meat all begins to pile together, growing taller and taller. The ribs forming a torso, various shanks and ham bones forming arms and legs, and a giant roasted pineapple forming the head as it looms down at each of you and says, "The luau of the lost begins." And that's where we're going to take our break.
That's not what
I love it.
Oh, no.
All right, so yeah, we'll take a 10-minute break, grab snacks, hydrate, stretch your legs, whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So, what's going on with this meat golem?
Yeah, this meat golem has coalesced with its odd little pineapple head, and I think to get things started, I think everybody needs to roll initiative.
I can take initiative on that.
Oh.
I'm terrible.
Roll
6.
Oh. All right. Let me get it
10.
written down.
I got a 10.
Excellent. Well, I mean that's not excellent, but we'll make it work. So everyone's initiative, and I'll roll mine.
We just need cats.
Oh, 2 initiative. A whole big 6.
Okay, so we have 2 6s and 2 10s.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably don't have a 6. I don't think a meat golem is going to be the most dexterous thing on the planet.
You know, fair.
But Lady Di goes before me, so.
Wow.
Woo!
Locrian
That's
bringing
quite
in
the
with
initiative.
the big initiative.
That's taking.
Oof.
All right. So, Locrian, you have just seen this monster of meat coalesce in front of you as it menacingly, and you can tell just by looking at it, it's out to give people heartburn. What are you going to do?
Heartburn?
Well, on
Oh,
the best
dear.
case scenario.
I feel like Lady Di might want to come down with the vapors.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lady Di is so incredibly angry that the seagull and now this meat monster is ruining it. And she takes out her fan and she starts fanning herself dramatically. And then something, what does it look like when Locrian takes over Lady Di? I don't even know.
It's probably like something that's like her body kind of starts contorting a little bit, and then like her demeanor changes,
Right.
and all of a sudden like she's valiantly like wielding her fan, and she says to the meat monster, I've seen meat monsters that are more delectable than you. And I cast Vicious Mockery.
Excellent. And she says so in Locrian's voice, and it's almost an eerie supernatural echo. Yeah, that's going to be a failure on that. So it's going to take 3 points of psychic damage as the pineapple seems to wither slightly, and it seems off put by your cruel words. Next up, we're going to go to Face. What have you got for me?
Where is everyone? How far away are we?
Y'all are well. How far away would you have been from the roasting meat?
I mean, probably fairly close.
Okay.
But yeah, so people are close. Part of what I'm wondering is I have sneak attack. So are any of my friends within melee range?
Currently, no.
Okay. Well, then I am probably not in melee range either, but Mia would like to throw one of their daggers.
Okay, go ahead and make that attack roll for me.
That's a... Oh.
Was that a natural 20 or a dirty 20?
No.
All right, well then, yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
And then that's
Nice. 7 damage as you throw your dagger in it. It holds its arm up to deflect it, and your dagger pierces its hand, sticking true into the meat. Devon, your
So-
face. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
I think I want to move forward so I can get closer.
All right. Are you moving into melee with it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, can do. Yeah, Devon, what's up?
So Mizar is very obviously has this look on his face that just screams, "Not this loser again." And he reaches under his cloak and pulls his shield off his back and pulls his longsword off his side and gets into melee with the creature. And he looks at this creature and kind of just rolls his shoulders back, and you see his hair stand up on end again, like even more, as he rages.
Just imagine the ponytail slowly.
Yeah, just no. There's so much static running through his hair that the hair tie snaps.
Okay.
The hair tie snaps. And if you guys have ever seen like Medusa, how her hair like fans out with the snakes, that's what his hair is doing with the electricity.
Okay.
And he's going to take a swing at.
And
Since he's
you're
raged, he's
using your
going to take
bonus action to rage, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
He's going to take a swing at this.
Take a swing.
That's a 13.
That is gonna hit.
Cool. That is 8 slashing damage. Oh, 10 slashing damage because I'm raging.
Nice.
And actually, no, never mind. I'm going to wait. Go ahead.
All right.
That's it. That's everything I can do.
As you slash your sword with a little bit of arcing electricity, not too much, just a tasteful amount, you cut deeply into some of its brisket, and the smell gets all the sweeter. Lady Di.
So, I feel like Lady Di was kind of far away when this happened, right? Because she was on the podium, or is
Yeah.
the podium close to the fire?
The podium's pretty close.
Okay.
But it would have been a few minutes afterwards, so if you don't want to be on the podium anymore, then that's totally fair.
Okay, I think Lady Di is like when she comes back to herself, and she's so overcome with anger that the meat has gotten up and left, when that is not the way that meat behaves at a barbecue.
Yeah.
I think she's going to she has 1,000 ball bearings, and I think she's going to roll a bunch of the ball bearings under its feet and try to push it back into the pit. That's what I
Okay.
want her to do. So I'm not
All right.
exactly sure how that's going to work down, but I sort of imagine that she rolls the ball bearings and then takes her battle umbrella and is sort of like pushing it back towards the pit. Like, get back in there!
All right, so we're gonna say make a strength check or an intimidation check, whichever one you prefer.
Okay.
Let's see how this thing goes.
It was a 16.
Yeah, it takes a few steps back, and let's see if it
It
slips.
says, meet your doom!
Oh yeah, it definitely it takes a few steps back from your splayed umbrella like an angry frill lizard's neck, and it slips and falls on its back into the burning pit.
And stay there!
It seems unhappy about being back in the fire.
It's rather
And-
gauche for a meal to get up and attack everyone. Not how we're gonna do it.
Elva, it's your turn. The meat monster is currently prone in the pit of fire.
Prone. Wait, I remember something about prone.
I think it gives you advantage on attacks, doesn't
On melee attacks, disadvantage on ranged attacks.
Yeah, that kind of sucks for me, at least. Yeah. This is. Let's see. An attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. Otherwise, the attack roll has disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay. So I am going to. I'll roll guiding bolt with disadvantage.
All right. Give me that attack roll at disadvantage.
Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely.
Oh man, that's a shame. Yeah, it's
Can I
gonna
use
be.
a D6? Can I use
You
a
certainly
D6?
can.
Oh. Nine, 9 plus 4 is 13.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, 15 damage.
15
And-
damage. How does this look?
And so Elva just holds up their holy symbol and calls down this black, sickening, black and green bolt onto the meat monster.
Excellent. Is there
And the
anything else?
next attack has advantage because the
Yes.
monster is now glowing black and green.
Heck yeah. So that brings us now to Bark. The beast is prone in the fire pit, glowing.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me see if I can get them to turn the jackhammer off. Be right
No
back.
worries. The real world consequences of gaming. Oh no.
See, you knocked it into the fire. I was gonna do thing, but now it's in a
Okay.
Awesome.
You
Sorry,
can make it
it's going to be
more
impossible to hear me
fire
there for a second.
or electric fire. It's all fine. It's just Lady Di does not appreciate it when the meal leaves. Not acceptable.
So the meat golem is still in the pit on fire,
Yes.
right? Okay. I am going to use my cunning action to use a bonus action to sneak over there to him.
Okay.
Let's see. Hopefully this is a good roll. 17 on stealth.
It's you feel fairly confident in your stealthings.
Okay. Is it close enough for me to get over there and attack him?
Of course.
All right. I'm going to make a meat golem skewer here with my rapier.
Alrighty, make that attack roll with advantage.
Okay, it's a 13.
13's gonna hit. Give me damage with sneak
Fantastic.
attack.
So, yeah. So there's the standard damage,
Ooh.
and there's the sneak damage.
Fantastic. Yeah, 18 damage. You skewer it right through some pork chops guarding its flank, and you do notice though that it seems like the meat is starting to burn. It's hardening somewhat. The fire is definitely hurting it, but it's drying the meat out and making it more leathery. With that, it's the meat golem's turn. The meat golem will rise from the fiery pit and is going to remain in the fire as it's currently in melee, and is going to swing one massive meaty mitt first at Bark, and then at oh wow, yeah, no, just garbage. Garbage on both.
Swing and a miss.
Bashes off my shield.
Yeah, it's absolutely just embarrassing. It smacks onto your shield with large kielbasa fingers, and some of the fingers actually fall off. It's most embarrassing, and yeah, that's going to be its turn. However, the seagull is going
Oh, no.
to take off into the air and make a few laps around, and seeing someone with an umbrella is too much of a temptation, and it's going to attack Lady Di. What's your armor class?
It's 12.
Okay. You're going to take 1 point of acid damage as the bird deposits a small amount of acid onto your wig. You feel it sizzling and burning through the hair, and it smells fishy.
Oh.
And that's going to bring us back up to the top of the initiative with Locrian.
So I'm not very happy with this bird right now. So I think I'm going to. How close is it to me?
It's about 10 feet up in the air.
Can I fly since I'm a ghost? I think
Sure,
technically
why
by the
not?
book not, but I think I'm gonna fly up and hit it with. I decided to name the sword the Necromancer. And I gave it the stats of a standard longsword +1.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So I'm gonna try and hit it with that.
Great. Make that roll.
So that's a 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
Nope, that's not 1d8, 6 damage.
No, that's still your attack roll. You got to click on the word the Necromancer in the chat thing.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's 4 damage.
Yep.
So,
4 damage.
all right, and you easily tear through the skeletal seagull. As you hear, butt munch, as the bones fall to pieces. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
Nah, I think I'm good.
All right, Miev, it's your turn.
And Miev is going to draw their rapier and attack with that this time.
All right, as you rush in towards the fiery pit, getting into melee with the beast.
15 to hit.
15's gonna hit.
And then Bark is in melee, right? Bark and Mizar.
Yes.
So we roll damage. Math. That's gonna be 16 damage.
Nice. Yeah, and you skewer it through, making another few pieces of shish kebab on the end of your rapier. Is there anything else that you'd like to do with your turn?
I think as a bonus action, I'm going to disengage and back up.
All right, can do. Mizar, it's your turn.
All right, so I'm just gonna swing on it again with my longsword, because
Okay,
the bird's dead, right?
the bird's dead.
Dope.
It was a skeletal seagull. It was not not the hardest enemy to kill.
So that's an 18 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
All right, so that's 9 slashing,
Excellent.
and then you're gonna see Mizar transfer his sword to his other hand real quick, and he's going to raise his right hand, and he's gonna say with the thunderclap, and he's just going to drop his hand down. And I need a dex save from this creature.
Oh, that's not going to be great for what's the DC?
If it meets, it beats. No pun intended.
Oh no, it's taking a penalty to its dex.
I've
It's,
heard that before.
It's a 13.
Okay, then yeah, it saves.
All right.
It fails. Yeah.
Okay, so that
Quick,
is
quick reminder, Zan, you do have 3d4 and a d6 to work with, and an advantage
Oh,
on your board there.
I'm gonna use that this turn. This upcoming turn then.
Okay.
right, and then so you take 1d. Let me read this. It's a d6, and that is. You take 5 lightning damage.
Nice. On top of the 11 slashing damage that it already took.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. Y'all are carving into it pretty good. It's starting to resemble a Thanksgiving meal more than the barbecue. Starting to look a little bit more like a pulled pork than the ribs that it once was. Yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to do with your turn?
This is gonna provoke an opportunity attack, but it's fine. Miser's gonna back up
All
15
right.
feet.
15 feet. Let's get that opportunity attack. Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
There's some
That
numbers.
hits. That
All
hits.
right. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. So look for
DC is 12.
Okay. 17.
Oh,
Flat 17.
I'm gonna use my D6. I want to put you in a sticky situation here. I'm on 6. Ah, crap. Okay.
Oh no!
All right. So my D6 is wasted, and you still succeed. You do take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as a heavy mitt of meat slams into you and leaves a sticky residue of barbecue sauce, but you don't manage to get stuck to the ground.
9 because I'm raging and resist bludgeoning.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, so that's not 9. That's,
Resist-
5.
so
that's
it's-
5.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's
5
resist
damage,
is half.
Yeah, because it would have been 11. So
Yeah.
it's 5.
Yeah, so take 5 damage.
Nice, very nice. Well, not nice. You ruined my fun.
Okay, to be fair, I don't have a dex mod, so that was just a flat 17.
Some people get off on that.
That's amazing.
Lady Di, your turn.
Lady Di, if she was upset before, is in full on fucking rage mode. Like, and she's like, this wig is a work of art! It is indescribably beautiful! And she is so angry, and she can't take it out on the seagull. She hates the bone lord. And so, is she close enough to Bark's little cart that she could start throwing like bottles of pure alcohol at it to catch? So, like, I'm hoping it'll catch on fire. Like, it's maybe already
we'll
a
say
little
that
on
you're
fire.
close enough to Bark's cart. Make a dexterity check, just to see if you can throw it on there. This would be.
All right. It's a
All right.
17. Oh, that's acrobatics. Maybe I do it like I'm going to do like a total double flip. Well, I do
it's
it.
just a 15 plus.
Yeah.
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 We'll
Even better.
fine. Just ruin all my plans as you
Yeah.
throw a bottle of freshly squeezed rum moss.
She's so angry she does a double backflip, throws it, and does 2 middle fingers.
Yeah.
I'm putting that on your tab.
And it smashes over. Why don't you go ahead and roll me 2d6 damage? Hey, Bark, Mav, can y'all make dexterity saving throws for me?
It's 6.
6 damage. Those
And she
averages.
screams, "This meat is not well done. And she yells at Alva, and she's like, you were supposed to make sure this was thoroughly cooked.
All right. Ma'am,
And she's
you're
like
gonna
weeping, but she doesn't actually cry. I don't. Oh, maybe
just
she cries.
a little bit of dust.
She's weeping dusty tears, and her cheeks are falling off again, and she's so angry. Everything, her wig is ruined, the barbecue's ruined, her cheeks are falling off. She's a mess.
Oh, poor thing. Maeve, you're going to take 3 points of fire damage as a little bit of that alcohol lands on you and quickly sets you alight. But Bark, you're fine.
Awesome.
Elva, it's going to be your turn.
I'm going to do the same thing I did last turn, but I'm going to take one of those advantages.
Okay.
Okay.
So. Oh. Not even in that point. Close. But 16 points of damage.
Hey, that'll do that'll do enough. Do you cast it the same way as last time?
Yeah. I hold my jeweled skull into the air, and out comes a array of black and green, just death upon it.
All right, yeah, and you do so, and it takes 16 damage, and you hear a disgruntled voice come from your skull and go, "I feel so objectified." Yeah, it takes a lot of damage. Anything else you'd like
That's
to do?
a lot of damage.
It's looking
I would like
real
to
rough.
find out why my skull just talked. But nothing this turn.
All right, Bark.
Oh, the next attack has advantage.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to let's see here. I think I'm just gonna stab it with the rapier.
Okay.
21.
You know, I think a 21 is
I'm
going to
assuming
hit.
hits.
That's fair.
Or a 24, I
24,
guess.
yeah.
An 8 piercing damage, and then I'm going to use my bonus action
You also
with
get
Master
sneak attack on
Tactics. Oh, I do? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Maeve is in melee with you. And also you had advantage on that attack roll.
Oof. So yeah, 12 more damage on top of that.
Wow.
Who's next in
Next in the
in
initiative
turn order
order
to attack?
is the meat monster.
Who's after that?
Look.
Okay, alright. Then I'm going to use my Master of Tactics to help Locrian. So aid an ally in attacking a creature as a bonus action.
Okay.
That thing. There it is. That'll be my turn.
Cool. Fantastic. And yes, it's its turn now. And it's looking pretty rough. Definitely hurting real bad. And it's going to stick one massive kielbasa sausage mitt in its mouth and near its mouth, if it had a mouth. And you see its chest inflate for just a second, and then a slew of ribs come out in a destructive wave of force. And I'm gonna need Bark, Lady Di, Mizar, and Miev to all make dexterity saving throws for me.
Not the rib shrapnel.
Rib shrapnel. It's the rib shrapnel.
Yes,
Oh.
nat 20.
That's oh.
+7.
Oh.
Gonna hurt y'all this time. No, I'm not. You all take because Mizar has raging resistance. You're all gonna take 7 points of damage as small pieces of ribs kind of clink and clatter against you, and it's uncomfortable and a little undignifying.
Does that include me?
Yes. You saved. It was a DC 14.
Okay, so it's half damage on
Yeah.
save. Gotcha.
Even when I fail, I still win.
Stupid barbarians. Ugh, no fun. And yeah, I think it's going to. That's about all it can do, really. Locrian, it's going to be your turn.
You get it. I think you get advantage on your attack too from the help action.
Yes, you do.
Ooh. How bad does it look?
It is hanging together by butcher's twine, basically.
All right, I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave. I'm
Okay.
gonna try and like blow this apart.
All right. Can you put that in the chat? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Constitution save of 14,
Okay.
and I think that's 6 thunder damage.
It is 6 thunders damage. So I also need Bark
Yep.
and Miev and Lady Di to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
Oops. Oh shit.
I'll just take it.
All right. And well, why don't you describe how you blow this meat monster apart there, Locrian?
So I think I might like this sword is like also my magic wand.
Okay.
So I probably just like use it to slash through the air and also cast this spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say anything. But you know, like I'm kind of like hovering in the air and I like spin and I like cast a spell and it just blows apart.
What?
And there's just like it's raining barbecued meat right now, and it's really exciting. And I might like pull the tape off of like my sword's mouth and kind of pat it on the head. And so, like, good job, sword. You know, kind of like patting it on the head.
As Mr. Bone Lord Lady, you sunny British. But thank you. I thought that was a good job too. I appreciate that. Anything to stick it to my grandson.
Yeah, and it is blown to bits. We are all out of initiative, and pieces of meat are raining from the sky as Bark, Mav, and Lady Di pick themselves up. Oh, thank you so much, Jay. We appreciate the raid.
Hey, Jay.
Welcome, Raiders. You've come in right at the tail end of our party, valiantly defeating a barbecued meat golem with a pineapple head.
Yeah, is there pineapples anywhere?
The pineapple, you see it slowly falling to the ground in front of you.
I want to walk over to meet, God damn puns, to meet it. I want to pick the pineapple up
Mhm.
And I'm gonna cast Burning Hands and just torch the thing.
And it caramelizes, crisp, burns, and melts away in your hand.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna just look at the party, and I'm gonna sigh and just be like, just to not have this happen again, and just drop the pineapple goo on the ground.
So I think Locrian's going around and kind of tending to Lady Di's cheeks with the mending and the umbrella and things like that. Being
Oh
very...
yeah, I think when Thunderwave happens, Lady Di is only has 4 hit points left.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I think when the Thunderwave happened, it knocked her wig right off. And so she's wigless and she's weeping and her cheeks are falling off and she's like, everyone will eat elbow macaroni and
So,
together. And like we'll run over and like throw herself into the arms of Locrian and be like weeping and like her cheeks are falling off and she's so upset.
Oh,
And her like undescribably beautiful wig is ruined. It looked like a lamb and a lion. It's really hard. This is not stupid Bone Lord. He ruins everything.
since we're out of combat, I'm taking 10 minutes to cast Prayer of Healing, and everybody up
Excellent.
to 6 creatures gets 9 points of healing. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nice.
That's everybody. I don't need any healing.
I don't need
you-
healing. I don't need healing.
Bart-
So
I
I'll
definitely
take it. I was
need
at
Bart,
half.
You do notice that
Yeah, I was
some
below
of,
half.
some of the townsfolk have bits of they have been bruised by some apples, or it looks like they are scalded with barbecue sauce, and you can quickly tend to those with your prayer of healing as well.
Bart kind of hobbles over to where Locrate is, and probably before the prayer of healing happens, and goes, don't worry, it's all under control, and we'll just take this the medical bills. I'll add it to your tab. Don't worry.
he laughs.
Mizar's just pinching the bridge of his nose, and he's like, really? And he just sighs and just drops to the ground.
Niev is an arcane trickster, so they are going to use prestidigitation to clean themselves of all the meat debris, and any of their friends around who also could use some help.
Yeah, everybody's looking a little saucy.
I think to a certain degree, Locrian is gonna like lick himself like a cat.
Nice.
Like he probably like I don't know that anything would stick to him because he's basically a vapor. He's a ghost,
Mhm.
but he's gonna take this opportunity to display his like ethereal flexibility to lick himself like a cat does.
I'm just seeing.
Maybe some of the sauce had ghost peppers in it.
I'm just seeing shenanigans like Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers. The ghost just like stretching their faces out.
I think Mizar's just like heating up and just burning everything off of him.
Oh, it smells delicious.
Like he smells like barbecue, but like everything's kind of just like hardening and falling off.
It's definitely like a brown sugar vinegar based sauce. It's a good smell cooking off of you.
I think Lady Di has like mustered up the remains of her dignity and has her big wig as sort of like a purse, and is like picking up some of the ribs and putting them in the big wig and sort of holding it like a clutch, and she's going to sort of dramatically sashay back to her house, and then maybe use the ribs later in her store because sometimes people need ribs when they come in.
It's
And
fair.
you don't want to waste it.
Bark.
yeah.
One last thing that Bark's gonna do. She's already like doing calculations for like property damage and things like that, getting ready to send a bill to the Bone Lord, and had the alcohol to Lady Di's tab, and probably she would normally make up some huge medical bill to put on Locrian's tab, but Locrian's a friend, so she'll actually put the actual cost of whatever it costs to get her healing done. And she's having, I'm assuming she probably has at least one or two employees at the tavern and is having them gather up as much of the barbecue as possible.
Yeah.
And planning for a very a huge lunch special for the next day called Barbecue.
I like it.
Half price barbecue sandwiches.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be like barbecue sandwiches and meat pies. Just don't ask where they came from. Slightly gritty. Yeah, and with that, you all make the best of your evening. The with that though interrupted, the evening is not ruined, and an hour or two later, the stage that Lady Di once was standing on to cut the ribbon, now with smeared drying barbecue sauce on it. There's a 5-piece band, kind of ska style, a guitar, a trombone, some bongos. I can't think of any more puns right off the moment, but it's there's a nice little band that's playing, and kind of gives town a little bit of a nice note to end this chaotic night on. And Elva, you see a barbecue stained dragonborn with a black eye walk up to you and go, "Hey, that was I appreciate I appreciate that healing. That was really cool. That's really nice of you. It turns out hamburger hurts. It's a hamburger herder, not a hamburger helper. It was awful. I'm sorry. Did you like want to like hang out and talk, or maybe you like I mean, if you're free, not doing anything, maybe like I'm gonna stop talking now.
I'm gonna just grab his arm and be like, of course, this way.
Oh, cool. That's great. And as Elva and the yet unnamed Dragonborn dance the night away, what's the rest of the party doing as the sun sets on the beach?
I think Locrian's kind of floating above the stage and really judging the musicians, being a bard, but also being like super critical of music and things like that, like kids these days, but like he can't say anything, so he's just kind of like being the quiet, judgy guy up top.
And it's a mix of living and dead. 2 undead, 3 living. They're bad, but not unlistenable.
He's like dissecting everything from like how well tuned the instruments are to like how well they play together. The acoustics of the beach. Like he's just really, really fucking critical. But he's not saying anything about it, so nobody can really hear him.
Nice.
This is just like us, the viewer. I am providing for the viewer a little insight into Locrian's mind.
Lady Di, how are you spending the rest of the evening?
Well, I think Lady Di goes home for a while and is sulking, but she can't actually stay away that long because of who she is. And so she has this like fashion turban that she'll wear sometimes that's silver with a big jewel. So she puts that on, and she puts on like a really extravagant caftan and some really big round like 60s style sunglasses so that she's incognito, and she'll sort of slink her way back and just sort of sit on the outside and look regal and sort of put out, kind of 1970s aging starlet style.
Nice.
But
Miev.
she's super excited that it seems to be going well, but she has to be, pout.
Fantastic. Miev, what are you up to?
Well, I think first Miev is going to pick through all of the meat remains to try and find their dagger that they threw at the beginning of the battle.
You can
Return
definitely find
that. And then probably alternating between taking notes in their journal to remember this occasion and then getting some drinks from Bark's cart.
Cool. Alva, how do you spend the night?
Dancing with Mr. Dragonborn.
What's Mr. Dragonborn's name there, Elva?
I'm gonna say the first name that comes to mind, which would be Brian.
Brian the Dragonborn. Yeah, he is very awkward and uncomfortable, but seems to legitimately enjoy your company. Mizar, how do you spend the night?
I think first Mizar goes up to Miev and sees if they need help finding their dagger. And if he gets the yeah, I need help, he's kind of lets out a low shock for where all the meat was, so you could see the dagger because it would kind of act as a lightning rod.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's metal. So he does that, and then he gets some food, and he kind of just goes and sits on the beach, and he's just sitting there glassing sand while he's eating. He's just sitting there superheating sand with his fire and electricity to see how long it takes or it differs. Just trying to get a sense of what he can do and how he can control it, and also thinking to himself, damn, I really could have not been hit by that freaking meat because I forgot I had danger sense. I had advantage on deck saves.
Damn.
He's just sitting there, just listening to all the party stuff in the background.
Awesome. And Bark, how's business?
Fantastic. So Bark has her employees gathering up meat, and I think she has probably put together a sandwich for herself, and is eating that while enjoying the music and the beach and making up signs to sell seagull hunting licenses in the morning.
Does Bark have employees aside from Frederick the Skeletal Kobold?
I don't know. I just assumed that Bark would have at least one or two people that work in the tavern.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Are they living or dead?
Either. Both.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say you've got a little menagerie of employees. And
so she just offers them overtime if they'll go collect up the meat and store it.
And with that, the sun slowly sets beneath the waters, and you all enjoy the out of tune bassist, the trombone player, the bone goes, a skeletal bugbear playing xylophone on his ribs, all accompanied by what seems to be a halfling trying to yodel. It works in a way, and is definitely.
Locrian doesn't like it at all. It doesn't work.
And the sun sets on this most memorable Tombstone Tuesday. And that's what we're gonna call our session. I'm sorry, guys. I know this one's a little bit short. I have to. Sorry, Chad.
No,
I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to, so I'm sorry.
This is lovely.
We're gonna take a time jump before our next game, as we will do every session, just because it's no fun always playing low-level campaigns. So we're gonna take another 2-level jump, and we're gonna say that 2 months have passed before our next game will commence. So before we all get up off of here, let's go back through and let everyone say their favorite part of the game, who they are, and where we can find them. We'll start with you, Kat.
So I am Cat. You can find me at places. I'm not really like hugely public right now. But I will be playing Monster of the Week this Friday with Polished Cryptid on this channel. And I have to say, like, my favorite part of the campaign this week, sculpting Lady Di's hair. That was probably fun, or the most fun. I was also a big fan of like just annihilating that goddamn seagull. Hate seagulls. I grew up and lived at the beach for a long time, so seagulls are just the worst.
Rats with wings. All right, Calliope. Who are you? Where can we find you? And
So
what
I'm
was the favorite part?
Calliope. You can find me at Calliope on Twitter or finishing up my school year teaching medium-sized children. I think my favorite part was just watching Lady Di become increasingly unhinged as the party fell apart because, dude, we have all been there.
Yep. And Susie, who are you? Where can we find you next? And what was your favorite part?
Unmute. First of all, you can find me here on these games. You can find Jacques on the Saturday game, which will not be this Saturday, but next Saturday, because cancellations and stuff. And you can usually find us on Twitter at Village System. That's recently mostly just been me, but the others actually do use Twitter sometimes. My favorite part was probably just Lady Di getting unhinged.
Pretty enjoyable. Goodness. Game Face, who are you? What was your favorite part, and where can we catch you next?
Yeah, you can find me in this game, and then on Twitter at GameFace, although I'm not terribly active, but you should find me there anyway. And then I really enjoyed the chance to see how all the players handled combat. I thought that was a lot of fun. And good to see everyone use some of their subclass features.
Excellent. And Devon.
Hello, I'm Vaughn. I'm here on Mondays. For now, I'm here on Mondays. I have other stuff coming up. You can find me on Twitch at GWDevon, and you can find me on Twitter at DevonDND, because this is just where I'm at right now. Otherwise, I'll be streaming on my own channel in the next couple days, so tune in when that happens. Play a lot of RPGs, so that's a thing.
And the headmistress of the Black Feather Guild herself, Miss Raven. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what was your favorite part?
My favorite part is probably as the meat golem was forming. So that whole description of how it went from dinner to golem with a pineapple head. And just the chaos that ensued after that was great. I think that was probably my favorite moment. Everybody had fantastic spots where their characters really shined, though. It was such a great episode. You can find me next. I will be producing La Famille Boucher. I think I said that right?
Yeah. I guess I don't speak French.
I don't either. The vampire game tomorrow, where the fantastic Zan will be DMing again. And then Tuesday night, so tomorrow night, I will be doing Water. I'll be DMing that one, which is a survival game inspired by video games like Subnautica and The Forest, even Minecraft, things like that. Last session that we had our first player character death, so we'll see if we can make that a trend. That's where you can find me next. And Zan, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next?
What, me? Yeah, so my favorite part, honestly, I really enjoyed being a seagull that got to poop on a player character's head. That's just juvenile humor at its absolute finest. You can catch me next. I am a super busy beaver this week. You can catch me doing a little bit of link stuff at the moment. You can catch me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time for La Famille Boucheri, where I'll be DMing a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game. And after that, I'll be in Water. Friday, I'm on Polished Cryptid channel with the D&D 5e game. Sunday on Polished channel, we're starting a mini campaign of Afterlife Wandering Souls to raise money for the Bell Project. And on the 12th US time, you can catch me with Onyx Path running Crawdaddy Knows Best for them on their online convention to raise money for the Bodhana Project, which is a great therapeutic gaming services nonprofit. Yeah, Calliope's going to be joining me on there. It's going to be a real good, real fun time. And yeah, you can also catch me at InsanityTTRPG on Twitter. I'm sorry this is taking so long, or InsanityGaming.com. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I always look forward to this game. It's a real refreshing breath of air. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a refreshing
well,
death
that
of air.
With that pun, we're going to go on a raid here. So I'm going to hop us over to the rating screen here. Again, thank you everyone. Oops, not that screen. This screen. There we go. Thank you again everyone for playing, and Zan for DMing. Thank you to Jay for that fantastic raid. And yeah, we're going to go raid Milady Saito. We've got our raid cry in chat, which is everyone will eat elbow macaroni. And then, yeah, definitely give Saito a follow if you're not doing so already. She's fantastic. She's got a fantastic cast over there right now playing some tabletop. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.